photograph in which we were in love, caught in your eyes, waiting for the sunrise. I barely even knew who you were. What did you do? I didn't care, 'cause you were perfect, I swear. But somebody told me that it's over. I know it's true. You made me happy for a while. I remember fleeting times when we slept on top of cars. Now I don't know you, you don't know me too. I remember fleeting times.
Good morning. Let's talk about photography. Or to be more precise, let's talk about aperture. On how and why we use it. So what's this video about? Well, it's about how we use aperture and why. As a woodland photographer, I'm constantly, or 99% of the time, in aperture priority mode. It doesn't make you a bad photographer if you use one of these priority programs. I'm quite capable of using manual mode, and indeed when I do portraits and shoots like that, I'm constantly in manual mode because I have to react to the light. But in woodland photography it's different. I like to make things easier for myself. So we're going to explore how we use aperture and why we use aperture, and is there a right aperture for the right image? This we shall explore together. Let's do it. Okay, let me try and explain what aperture is. For those of you who don't know, and I guess this video is more or less aimed at you guys that are probably starting out, and I don't want to go into the exposure triangle just yet, which the aperture is part of. But let me just try and give you a quick brief of what aperture is, or what it does. The aperture is technically a hole in the lens which allows light to hit the camera and hit the sensor. Now, aperture works in f-stops, so you'll always hear photographers going on about f5.6, f8, f11, f1.8. In simple terms, what that means, the lower the number, so f1.8, that means the aperture is wide open. So that's allowing lots of light into the camera to hit the sensor. Now this has twofold effect. What this does, firstly, it gives you a faster shutter speed. Secondly, it gives you a shallower depth of field. Now when I say shallower depth of field, what that is the target item you are photographing, that would be pin sharp. But because it's such a wide aperture, everything around it softens quickly. And as you go through the f-stops, so f3, f4, 4.5, 5.6, then gradually that center of sharpness spreads out and gets sharper and sharper until you get to f11, f16. Some lenses do f22. It's always advised, I would say, not to go to above f16 really, because you can suffer diffraction and it can start to affect the actual sharpness and quality of your image. So that's effectively what the aperture is, and of course as you go up the aperture gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, so when you get to like f11, f16 you've got a real small aperture. What that does, that gives you a wider field of view, which means, as I said earlier, that everything is sharper, but it's allowing just a little bit of light coming into your lens. So what happens then, your camera will then, if you're in aperture priority mode, will then take a longer exposure time. The downside of that is if you're doing that and it's a windy or breezy day, you can start suffering blur from leaves moving or the grass or whatever. But that is a very basic rundown of what aperture is and what it does. So now we're going to go and take a shot over here, and I'm going to do it in 1.8 so you can see for yourself the effect of that. Now I'm going to take another shot at f11, and what you should see is the center sharpness and the softness on the outside at f1.8, and then when we get to f11 you're going to see the sharpness across the board. So I've got a tree down here I'm going to photograph. Let's go and do it. So I'm going to take a shot here. I've got this tree here and I've got some trees in the background. So what I want this tree here sharp, but I want the ones in the background really blurred out. So I want to go for 1.8. We're going to see what that does, and then we're going to go for f11, and I'm hoping you're going to see the difference. Right, okay, I'm just going to focus this in. We're at 1.8, and I forgot my my shutter release cable again. I've got two of them now. I thought I lost the other one. Okay, let's have a look at this one. I'm going to just zoom in. Yeah, that front tree there is superbly sharp, and then the background just softens off completely, which is lovely. A little bit of burnout at the back because we've got the sun coming through now. So now I'm going to do f11. I'm not going to do one in between, there's no point. This is just a demonstration. So then we'll do that. So what we should have now is this front tree sharp, and then the background a lot sharper as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, it is. So the background's really sharp now as well. So I'm going to put those two pictures up for you so you can see for yourself the effects of f1.8 and f11. I'll put them up now for you. Right, on this shot I really want to show the difference between having sharpness across the frame and just having the center sharp with the softness on the outside. So what we've got an old tree stump down here which is pretty much right on the way, but it's nice. We've got the green moss on it, which is lovely. We've got all the browns and the greens inside here. So it's actually quite a nice little composition actually. I quite like it. So I'm going to do this at 2.5 because I want that more or less the whole of the trunk sharp, and I want it sort of softening off from the edges of the trunk across the frame. So I've got that at 2.5. I'm going to take that and that's done a lovely job of doing that. So now I'm going to go to 14, just to make sure I get that sharpness across everything. We'll see what we've got. So there you can really see the difference on that one. So I'm going to put them up for you now. Well, that was just two examples at extreme ends. You've got the f1.8 and f11, and f14, and you can see the difference in the sharpness on both. So going back to the question, is there a right aperture for the right image? I'm on the fence on this, because it's all down to the personal taste of the photographer and what they want to achieve with that image. If you want, like this trunk down here, if you just want that focused and sharp in the center, and that's where you want people to look, then you want to blur everything else out around the outside. So that's when you're going to go to a low numbered f-stop. If you like all the colours and all the sharpness around the edges, and you want people to see the leaves and the sticks in sharp clarity, then you want to go for f14, f11, whatever it takes to get that image sharp. That's what you go to. So is there the right aperture for the right image? You tell me on the comments below. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on this one. But this is just a quick video, that's all it was. Just to try and explain aperture in a very simple, childlike way, because that's how I think. And I'm going to say, well, look, thank you for watching. I hope this has been helpful to somebody. And you know, all I can say is, again, it's a bank holiday on Monday in the UK, so have a great day, everyone, if you're off. And have a great day, have a great weekend, and thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you like this video. Go and watch some more. And yeah. Cheers, have a good one. Thanks very much. See you again. Bye-bye.
Oh baby, baby, why you acting this way? I just remember all our days up the interstate, when we were driving down the 408, and you would smile just like the sun that you emulate. Now you mitigate my love, mitigate my love. Mitigate my love, mitigate my love. Mitigate my love, mitigate my love. Oh, mitigate my love, mitigate my love.